just an everyday story of football folk. That's coming up right after the boxing. But first, it's to Wembley. Collins and Kaylor, two powerful, determined men with the European light heavyweight titles on offer. All the ingredients for a tremendous live contest. Tom Collins from Leeds, well, he's the champion. He took the British title in March last year with a grueling victory against John Moody. The fight was stopped in the 10th. But the following November, Collins took just 2 rounds to knock out Alex Blanchard for the European crown. Mark Kaylor, as we all know, made his name as a middleweight, including that notorious confrontation with Errol Christie. But after losing to Harold Graham in his challenge for the European title, Kaylor moved up to the 12-stone 7 limit, and he's won all 6 fights as a light heavyweight, including this victory against Charlie Henderson. And this is Tom Collins' facts and figures. Collins from Leeds, 32 years of age, 37 fights, 22 wins, 15 of them inside the distance, 14 defeats and drawn once. But this certainly Tom Collins' biggest night. Mark Kaylor, by comparison, of course we know him from the Olympics in Moscow, 27 years old, 42 fights, 38 wins, 32 of them inside the distance, and he's had 4 defeats. So it's Tom Collins against Mark Kaylor for the European Light Heavyweight Championship. Kaylor's biggest test in the higher division, and it's potentially the toughest night also for Collins. Live at Wembley, we'll join Harry Carpenter.
And you join us at a moment just before the 2 fighters come into the ring. Mark Kaylor's birthday tonight, so what a birthday treat it would be for Kaylor if he could lift the European Light Heavyweight Championship from Tom Collins of Leeds. The previous fight, just moving away from the ring. And there we are. Not a bad little house here at the Grand Hall at Wembley. And this crowd now tensely awaiting the arrival of the 2 contestants. Here's Lloyd Honeyghan here, the world welterweight champion. He's sitting right behind me, eager to see this this fight. And into the ring, Michael Watson being introduced at this moment, one of our young middleweight prospects. So this is a fascinating fight between Tom Collins, the veteran campaigner. The lights in the Wembley Grand Hall go out, the spotlight comes up, and the challenger will appear, and it's Mark Kaylor, of course, coming in behind Terry Lawless, his manager. Kaylor in a new career now as a light heavyweight. The former British and Commonwealth middleweight champion, of course. And looking quite tense and drawn as he comes to the ring. It is a very big night for him, never mind the birthday, but it's an important night in the career of Mark Kaylor, because defeat tonight might well signal the end of the big time for him. So Kaylor, the challenger, is in the ring. A pro since 1980, when I saw him in the Olympic Games in Moscow. Reached the quarterfinals. Turned pro shortly afterwards. Now the lights go down again. And all the dramatic razzmatazz of spotlights and fanfares greet the champion, the astonishing Tom Collins from Leeds, whose career really has come good in its latter stages. Having an Indian summer in his long professional career. And Collins tonight will make the first defence of the title he won in Wales last November from the Dutchman Alex Blanchard. And he knocked out Blanchard in 2 rounds. Now, Dudley Waters, the MC.
And gentlemen, this is the principal contest of the evening. Mickey Duff and Terry Lawless, sponsored by Advance, the mobile advertising company, are proud to present a light heavyweight contest of 12 rounds, 3 minutes each round, to decide the light heavyweight championship of Europe. Between and introducing to you in the blue corner from Leeds, the light heavyweight champion of Europe, Tom Collins.
Britain's first European light heavyweight champion since John Conte in 1974.
In the red corner from West Ham, the challenger, Mark Kaylor.
It's the first time two Britons have fought for this European light heavyweight title since Conte met Chris Finnegan 14 years ago this month.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 12 o'clock today at the Odeon, Leicester Square, Collins scaled 12 stones 6 pounds, Kaylor 12 stones 6.5 pounds. The referee for the contest is Mr. John Coyle, and the judges Mr. Sid Nathan and Mr. Adrian Morgan. The contest is boxed under European rules. The timekeeper, Mr. Ted Turner. Thank you.
The limit for light heavyweight is 12 stone 7. Collins was a pound under, and Kaylor half a pound under. John Coyle, British referee. The staring contest has become fashionable today. Was, I think, started by Muhammad Ali. So Collins, born in Curaçao in the Dutch West Indies, now out of Leeds. There he is, the champion. And Kaylor, the birthday boy. Can he do it? Scheduled for 12 rounds. Kaylor's last fight as a middleweight was with Harold Graham, and he retired after 8 rounds against Graham with some eye damage, and that left eye of Kaylor's has given him a few problems in the last year or two. He's a bit vulnerable. Kaylor wearing the white trunks. Collins' pro career began back in 1977. Kaylor was still a young amateur in those days. The Kaylor left hand getting to work quite early. Interesting contrast between the careers of these two men, because Kaylor's had all the backing of London management. He's made almost all his appearances throughout his career on big London bills. He's had sophisticated management here in London. And Collins has come up the hard way in the provinces. He knows the small halls of this country, and frequently he's had to go and fight abroad in order to get fights. So the two men have had totally different upbringings in this sport. And it's going to be fascinating to see who comes out on top in this. Good right hand down to the body from Kaylor. Confident start by Kaylor. He doesn't look like a blown-up middleweight, and he isn't really. He's a big-framed boy, and he carries the light heavyweight build very well, and he looks born into it, actually. Kaylor can't afford to stand around waiting. Good opening round, and Kaylor looks pleased enough with it. Made a good start. But Collins came back a little towards the end of it. But that was a brisk and rather enthusiastic, confident-looking start by Mark Kaylor, married man. And, well, there's the rundown on Mark Kaylor, 27 today. And although he's been a pro for rather shorter time than Collins, As we shall see, he's had more professional fights. The champion, now approaching his 33rd birthday. And there you are, you see 37 fights since January 1977. Very much an in-and-out record, and all the best work has been done in the last few years. He actually holds the Lonsdale belt outright, Collins. Collins is a dour, strong, really knowledgeable fighter. He's really come up the hard way. And all that sort of experience becomes important when you get to the stage at the top. He knows what adversity is, and he can come through it. Fashionable these days. They've all seen Mike Tyson fight. It's becoming very fashionable now to wear the plain black trunks and the black boots, and I'm inclined to think that perhaps Collins is even scorning socks a la Tyson. Period here when each man trying to set himself up as the governor. Neither man's managed it yet. Give and take, nothing in it. Tom Collins stands 5 feet 11. He's just a touch shorter than Kaylor. He held the British title from 1982 until 94, until Dennis Andrews took it from him, and then he went on to win the world title. Collins holds the Lonsdale belt outright. He won the British title a second time last year at the Albert Hall, stopping John Moody in 10 rounds, and followed that up by winning the European title with that stunning 2-round knockout over the Dutchman Alex Blanchard. Well, that sort of win should give Collins a great deal of confidence. And I would have thought that this is very much an even money fight tonight. He's 5 years older than Kaylor, but his record in these sort of fights is pretty good. Funnily enough, Kaylor's only taken part in 3 major title fights before this, Collins in 7. So they've had 10 big fights, big major title fights between them. Little right hand socked in there by Collins, which Kaylor stood for. three are pacing it very carefully, as though they perhaps think it might go all the way. Kaylor never able to get a punch in without having to take one or even two back. Good jab from Kaylor, and Kaylor saw it and quick to follow up. And Collins comes straight back. That's the sort of fight it is, very even at this moment. Kaylor's got to work behind that jab. It's a punch with which he might be able to keep Collins under control. But he's not throwing it. He's waiting. Three right uppercuts came in from Kaylor there, and Collins is bleeding from the mouth. You saw Collins' head jerk back 3 times, and he came out of the clinch with blood seeping from his mouth. Strong Kaylor pushes the 12 stone 6 of Collins back as though it was nothing. And Kaylor's beginning to discover that he's the governor inside. Well, that was most certainly Kaylor's round, and Collins goes back to the corner, a little chastened, and certainly a little hurt around the mouth. A blood-stained gum shield comes out, and that was not a good round for the champion. And he got roughed up inside there. For a moment, one thought Kaylor might dominate it from long range with the jab. And then suddenly, when those 3 vivid right uppercuts went in, you suddenly saw that Kaylor had the mastery inside. And that will be a very interesting discovery for him and his corner. Terry Lawless, the manager. Frank Black, this side. George Francis on the far side. Perhaps the most famous team in the whole of European boxing. We can see those uppercuts again. There's one. There's another. There's a third. There was a fourth. I missed the fourth. I think Kaylor will be more than wary about is the Collins right hand, which might do some damage on the left-hand side of his face. The left eye is the one that's proved to be vulnerable over the last year or two. And that's just where their heads are rubbing at this moment. Collins doing very little at this moment. Kaylor always the one who uses his strength to push the other man off. Very much quieter around this than the previous one. Kaylor's punching not coming freely yet. He's still feeling his way into this. Collins doesn't seem to be too sure how to handle him. Kaylor tried the right hand over the top. He does seem to have the left jab to control this. When he lets the punches come freely, they seem to be a lot faster than Collins' punches. Kaylor married to an American girl, Pat. And their son, Jamie, was born on the same day that Kaylor fought Tony Simpson in 1984, when he lost his British and Commonwealth titles to Tony on points. So still at this stage, this Advan's European Light Heavyweight Championship fight is very much in the balance. And one suspects there's a lot of action to come and a lot of good action to come. They've really been quite cautious over the first 4 rounds. And the best round of all was the third, which Kaylor clearly won. Other than that, the rounds have been fairly indecisive. Collins has fought in many countries. In Trinidad, in New Zealand, in Denmark, Germany, and Italy. Born in the Dutch West Indies, in Curacao, off the north coast of Venezuela, and came to Yorkshire when he was 5 years old. He's not Tom Collins, actually. That's a ring name. His first name is Elton Collins. One wonders why he didn't keep it. Quite clear that Kaylor must keep working. If he lets Collins get confident and come forward, he might find trouble. Collins is only too glad to work when he's given the chance like that. And Kaylor really must push the left jab out and keep the man in control if he wants to win this title. This time Kaylor gets roughed up inside, and again. Tries from Kaylor's corner, jab first. That's the punch they want to see. When he throws that, Collins doesn't quite know how to counter it. Stumbled, swung a punch and fell face forward without taking a punch. No count. He was hitting and holding there, Kaylor. first sign that they feel the feeling out period is over and it's time to get to work. And Kaylor's had fractionally the better of it. Well, don't be misled by the rather jaded, weary look of Collins as he walks back to the corner. Here's an old pro who knows what he's doing, and he may be at his most dangerous when he's under the most pressure. He's had a few disappointments recently. He's been scheduled to fight for the IBF, the International Boxing Federation title. That's the least regarded of the world titles we're lumbered with these days. He was scheduled to fight for that title a few weeks ago against the American Charles Williams, but it fell through more than once, actually. So from thinking he was going to fight for a version of the world title, here he is having defended his European title against an altogether useful opponent. Collins never started boxing amateur until he was 19 years old. John Coyle. So we're rapidly approaching the halfway mark in this European light heavyweight championship fight. The first in this country between two Britons since Conti versus Finnegan in the neighbouring Wembley Arena 14 years ago. Doesn't seem like it. Kaylor gets the left jab to work quickly. Collins is trying to counter with the right over the top. Kaylor's always been thought to be a slow starter. In fact, he made quite a brisk start to this fight. Collins dangerous, slinging the punches. He's got a lot in there, one low. And the eye's gone. Kaylor's left eye is gone. That's the vulnerable one, and it's cut again. 6th round. And now suddenly Kaylor's handicap becomes very big indeed. It's the same cut again. Over the eye. Trouble for the Londoner. And now he may well have to think in terms of trying to get this over quickly. Oh, good right hand, and Kaylor actually sagged at the knees. This all sprang from a sudden attack by Collins about a minute ago when he took Kaylor to the ropes with an attack. And since then, he's cut Kaylor's eye and he's staggered him with a right hand. All the hopes and confidence of Kaylor really must have sunk when he knew the eye had gone. He needs to stop Collins now, and he needs to do it pretty quickly. Collins is using his right hand like a bludgeon as he sees the blood on the left-hand side of Kaylor's face. Collins' corner told to shut up. Well, I did say when he walked back to the corner that one shouldn't be misled by appearances with Collins. He may have looked a bit dispirited, but he was at his most dangerous. And Kaylor gets back with the right hand. There's blood on the nose of Collins. Desperate moments for Kaylor. The bell comes before he can do any more, and he goes back very quickly to the corner because he knows the corner need the full 60 seconds to work on the cut that's opened up once again. Well, there was a good right hand from Collins here, and look at that, and look at the legs of Kaylor. The knees actually unhinged for a moment there, and he came inside for safety. Another angle on that. Let's look at that again. That was a very significant punch. High on the head, but Mark really did feel it. And now the corner coolly working to try to patch up this old injury. Tom Collins, the champion, pretty well unmarked apart from a blooded mouth and a slightly damaged nose. But all the problems at this moment, as we enter the second half of this title fight, all the problems are with the man in the white trunks. A lot of good left jabs. Eye bleeding again. Kaylor's picking up right hands too easily. Collins is being allowed to pop that right hand over the top, virtually unguarded. Collins is having a little look at his glove. He's felt something on his face and he touched it with his glove and had a look. I think there might be something on the right side of his face, and he gets round this way. I'll be able to tell you. A minute left of this round, the seventh. Still, I can't get a clear look at the right side of Collins' face. I think there is a cut on Collins' right eye. One low left hand from Kaylor. Unremarked by the referee. Well, this is a bruising battle to the finish now. Kaylor nods to his corner as they shout something to him. John Coyle has a look at the face of Collins, which rather seems to confirm there is trouble there. And there is, I can see it now. There's a horizontal cut underneath the right eyebrow of Collins. So they've got one apiece. And this time it's Collins who needs the attention. On the right eye. A narrow-looking slit underneath the right eyebrow, towards the side of the face. So that's an equally dangerous cut to the one he gave Kaylor in the previous round. So once again, this fight swings. They both have problems as we come towards the eighth. So it's a long way from over, and it would be a brave man, I think, at this point, who would confidently put any money either way. We might as well have a look at a bit of the action there. I don't know whether this is the action that actually caused, that could have been a punch that caused the cut. Tries from the corner. Let's have the jab mark, the left jab. And then it goes. The left jab is the punch that could cause more trouble on the cut. It always promised to be a hard and close battle, and that is what it's proving to be. pinning his faith in the right hand. Kaylor probably pinning his faith in the left jab. Trickle of blood down the left-hand side of Kaylor's face again. Signs of battle now beginning to be clearly etched on the faces of both men. Very little body punching, everything, almost everything aimed at the heads. Both eyes bleeding. Collins keeps thumping that right hand over the top, and he keeps finding the side of Mark's head with it. There's another one, a thumping right hand. Kaylor does get caught with that so easily in this fight. Trial of strength now. Terry Lawless getting a bit desperate about the way Mark's taking those right hands. Yelling to him to keep the hands up. Kaylor's looking very weak at the moment. His legs don't seem to hold him up. His eyes bleeding badly again, and his legs seem to have gone to me. Another right hand. And Kaylor's legs have gone to rubber. He hardly seems to be able to get off the ropes. Kaylor may be very close to defeat at this moment. The 8th round, the bell, and that hasn't come a moment too soon for Kaylor, who blows and totters back to his corner. His legs in the last 30 seconds of that round had completely left him. All his strength seemed to have gone out of him. And that was all caused by that consistent bludgeoning right hand thrown by Collins. So the Kaylor fans beginning to shout for their man, trying to instill a bit of confidence in him to get him going. But from the evidence of what we saw at the end of that last round, this is the stronger man of the two. Again, that right hand comes over the top, catches him in the same place. People in Kaylor's corner pleading with him not to trade punches, to get the left going. I don't think he's got the footwork now to really keep that sort of boxing going. And I don't think Mark's got the strength to wage a war. But Collins himself is tired. Still 4 to go, including this one. There it is again. And the right hand of Collins is proving to be the significant factor in this fight. And Kaylor's weak again. He's been pushed, shoved and punched all around this ring. And now the crisis has come a bit earlier in the round this time. We're only halfway through. The eye bleeds for Kaylor. He seems to me to have very little strength left. Kaylor rather, finding it hard to get his breath. He feels the blood running down his face. He can't get out of the way of the right hand. Collins' eye bleeding too. No! He hit him with the right and then the push. And Mark's gone. It's all over. He can't make it. His legs have gone. He was counted out at the same moment that the towel came in, and he still can't get to his feet. Absolutely exhausted. He took a right hand. He was pushed back. And that was the end. So Collins celebrates the second defence, the first defence rather, of his European light heavyweight title, which he's brought about in a grim, dour struggle, and that has been brought about by the right hand, which he consistently brought over. And it was a right that finished it. Here it is again. That was the right, and then he pushed him back. And he was so weak, Kaylor, that he had no strength with which to rescue himself. One right hand, and then the push. And Kaylor's strength had evaporated. So Mark Kaylor's attempt to win the European light heavyweight title on his 27th birthday has failed, and Tom Collins, in his 38th fight, in the 11th year of his professional career, remains the European champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 2 minutes 31 seconds of round 9, Collins was counted out. Sorry, Kaylor was counted out. The winner, Tom Collins, still light heavyweight champion of Europe.
Well done to Tom Collins, and we'll bring you news of Mark Kaylor's condition a little bit later. I'm sure he's okay. Reminder, though, that Horace noted Kaylor in the 9th round to retain his European light heavyweight title. Mark Kaylor is okay after the knockout, but he has now announced his retirement from the sport. Let's look back on how tonight's fight finished.
Kaylor rather, finding it hard to get his breath. He feels the blood running down his face. He can't get out of the way of the right hand. Collins' eye bleeding too. No! He hit him with the right and then the push. And Mark's gone. It's all over. He can't make it. His legs have gone. He was counted out at the same moment that the towel came in, and he still can't get to his feet. Absolutely exhausted. He took a right hand. He was pushed back. And that was the end. Terry, what's the latest on Mark? Is he okay?
Oh yeah, he's fine. He's upset naturally, but he's fine, and he's retired.
He's officially retired from boxing?
I've retired him. He said it himself, but you know, I don't want no going back now. That is the finish.
Why did things go wrong? I know he took a lot of right hands. I suppose that was the real reason, but he seemed to go weak very quickly.
I wish I knew, Harry. He seemed to be so much in control the first half of the fight. I mean, you know, Collins was dangerous all the way through the fight, but he seemed to be in control, and it just slowly slipped away from him. All credit to Collins. He tries, a very strong man, and he tried and tried and tried.
You did a good job on the eye. I mean, I thought at one time that might bring about the finish, but it didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad a cut, but I mean, tremendous fight, and all credit to both. I never cease to be amazed at fighters. You know, I mean, Mark Kaylor is an outstanding fella for bravery, but you know, you can't keep going on like that.
When you said to him, "It's time to call it a day," I mean, did he accept that totally?
Yeah, he has said it himself as well. But, you know, so it can be one punch, can't it? It was so close at one stage there. One swing could have changed it all around. But you know, you've got to give Collins so much credit, because he took his share of stick along the way, didn't he? And he stood for it like a man, and still finished it in style. It was fairly even early on, and then your right hand began to get across. You had no defence to it.
No, I didn't. But I would pray. You know, I was praying hard, you know, to get through it. And I believe in the Lord, and the Lord came through for me in the end. And
he was
I thank him. You know?
He was so weak in the last 2 rounds. So his legs had gone in the previous round. You must have seen that.
I saw it, but like it says, he's a cagey guy to catch, and he knew how to swerve and you know, keep out of reach. And but I still caught up with him, and I did the job.
Shall we have a look at the finish again? I dare say you'd like to see it. Here we are. Talk me through it.
Yeah, I saw him wobbling there, but I went with the right hand again, and I caught him. But I was off balance. He was on top of me, so I had to push him over because he might have brought me over, you know.
Did you realise when you pushed him like that, after the right hand, that he wouldn't get up?
Yeah, I realised because that's what happened to Mark Kurt. I mean, Robert Moody. I realised that when I caught him, he went on top of me, so I knew that all I had to do was push him a little bit and he would have gone. I mean, he went over, I knew that was it, because I caught him pretty hard.
Tom Collins retains his European light heavyweight title. Mark Kaylor now retired. We wish him all the best for the future. One more fight from that Wembley